Hey, good day. I'm Dr. Ruth Roberts. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. I wanted to jump on and talk to you a little bit about some of the questions we're getting asked and to do a really cool giveaway. So, if you don't know about C60 Purple Power, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. And if you comment this hashtag, C60 Dr. Ruth giveaway during the event, you'll be entered to win a free bottle, which is super cool. Now, what about this supplement, right? So the interesting thing is that this is a molecule of carbon that's in a fullerene shape, so basically a globe shape, kind of like this little picture here. We like this a lot for a couple of reasons. One is it's an incredibly powerful antioxidant. It also is a really great detox agent. And it is not an inexpensive supplement for sure. But the great thing is that 5 drops for a 10-pound dog or a cat every day is sufficient to really see benefits. More than that for a pet that's been struggling with some health issues. So the cool thing is, because this is in an avocado oil, small volume of oil, and it's really easy to get the pet to eat it. So there's a couple of benefits that come along with it. Aside from the antioxidant protection, it also helps support immune system function, increases energy level, enhanced digestion, and better absorption of nutrients, and overall health and wellness. If you were watching the C60 workshop that was a couple of months ago, you got to really look at some of the benefits, not only for pets, but also from human healthcare providers. So just an amazing, amazing product. Now, here's a couple of questions we've been getting very frequently, and so I wanted to address some of these. There's a lot of stuff going on out there in the pet space, and I think it gets super confusing because you will hear very conflicting information. So one of them is, we all of us in the holistic pet health space talk about diet as the most important thing. And the majority of my colleagues will talk about raw diet. I teach cooked diet. But what I'm here to tell you is that, and you know this, that you don't want to kind of get ensconced in this is the only way, right? So what you have to do is start somewhere. Maybe you're feeding kibble. Maybe things are financially a little tight, and your next step is, okay, what can I really do to enhance my pet's food? And so if you start with frozen vegetables, cook them, add them on top of the kibble, you are doing a lot of good things there, because you're adding in a lot of moisture, you're adding in a lot of fiber, which helps to feed the microbiome, and you're also giving your dog some variety in terms of how things taste. So I think they like the food better. It's easier for them to digest. So, okay, you've done that. Now you're ready to make the leap into a whole food diet, whether that's something you're purchasing that's pre-prepared, like our friends over at Goodness Gracious, Evermore, Raised Right. These are awesome, lightly cooked options. Or you're like, I'm going whole hog, and so I'm going to start doing raw diet. And you take a course, you do the thing. And then the other option is, you're like, I don't want to do that, but I can get behind using a slow cooker to create food in a batch that I can feed my pet for the entire week. So how do you know this is actually helping your pet, or maybe it's not quite the right diet for your pet? And one of the things you can do is just start, before you start making changes, is take some photos. So take some photos of your pets from the side, from the top, and from the front. And so you're going to know what their hair quality is like, what their skin quality is like. If they're overweight, you're going to see that. You're going to also see if they're underweight. You're going to see if they've lost muscle in the back, all of those good things. So this is a way for you to evaluate. And I think that it's a good thing to do periodically, is to take some photos once a quarter. So because our memory fades over time, right? So in 3 weeks, Start asking yourself, repeat the photos, compare them, and then start asking yourself, did the stool quality stay the same, get better, get worse? Does my dog have more energy, less energy, the same? So, all of the things that are important to you, has his mobility improved? Has her itchiness gotten better? That's going to help you understand this is the right diet, this is better but not great, or whoa, this is really not a good thing. And I think that it's important to do that to make sure that we are not getting into dogma and doing that over and over and over again, even though it may not be the right thing for that individual pet. So that's one way to start working through it. And I think that if you do, our dear friend Beth Rinciar, one of our graduate coaches, and hey, Audrey, one of our other coaches, amazing folks. One of the things Beth teaches is to do a nose to tail pat down every day so that you know, okay, everything feels the same. Oop, there's a new bump. And then you can journal that so you can keep an eye on things because it gets overwhelming, right? And especially if you've got an older dog and they've got some health concerns, it can really get overwhelming. Like we're in the process of making some videos and a list of things for Hio for our pet sitter in when we go back to Charlotte for a few days. It's a lot. We're like, oh, wow, okay, this is a little overwhelming, but it's what we've been doing every day, so it's normal for us, and it's what keeps her happy and healthy. Cool. So I hope that's helpful. One of the other things that we keep getting questions about is kidney disease, and I think that this is a really common diagnosis. Unfortunately, many times you go to the vet, they're incredibly busy, they're backed up. They say, oh, your dog is in stage 2 kidney failure instead of disease oftentimes. And then they say, okay, buy this bag of food and come back in 3 months and we'll see if it's gotten worse. There's really nothing else we can do. And I know that's not what every vet is saying, but unfortunately, that's what a lot of veterinarians are saying. And worse, if your dog or your cat is in advanced stages of kidney disease, they give them some sub-Q fluids in the office, give you some medicine for nausea, and say, well, it'll probably be pretty soon. You'll need to put your dog to sleep. Now, and I know there are dogs and cats that when they are diagnosed, they really are at that end stage. But the vast majority of these guys, we can help with super, super simple things. So one of the things is to understand where your dog is. And there's a myriad of ways to do that. If you haven't gotten much information from your vet, what I would suggest you do is work with one of our holistic pet health coaches because they can give you the support you need in terms of understanding what the lab values are, what some of your options are, and really giving you the best idea of how is this going to go? What can I do to make my dog as happy and healthy for as long as possible? Or if this dog or cat really is in end stage disease, then what's going to be the best palliative care steps to support the dog and the cat so that they enjoy the time that they have left with you? So information is power. You will find information and kidney support kits all over the internet. And what we've seen in consultations time and time again is you get that horrible news from the veterinarian, you freak out, you go online and you buy the 17 supplements. And your dog or cat is looking at the bowl like, no. So take a deep breath. Go find a coach to work with. And what they can do is help you plan out what's going to be the most effective steps. Here's a real key. For the vast majority of dogs and cats that are eating conventional kibble, if you just switch to a fresh food, to the original crock pet diet, I would say 80% of those elevated BUN and creatinine numbers for very early kidney disease go back down to the normal range. And what happened? We took a dog that was dehydrated because it's eating dry kibble and gave it enough moisture and real food. And so we gave it the moisture to flush the kidneys. We gave the microbiome the food that it needs to grow to help the kidneys get rid of waste products. And we gave this dog something they really love to eat. I mean, how good is that? I'm sick and I get what I want to eat. And in fact, Beth said this the other day in a coaching call. She was like, why is it vets always say, feed chicken and rice, feed a real food to your dog if it's having diarrhea, but then go back on the kibble? So wait, we use the real food to make them better, but then we have to go back to the kibble that maybe created a problem to start with. So logic, right? Cool. You guys liking this? Audrey, good to see you. Not sure who else is on here. Let me answer one more question. Got a short day today because we have an amazing workshop for people that are interested in being holistic pet health coaches. It is coming up in about an hour. If you are interested in this program, interested in becoming a holistic pet health coach, I'm going to drop the link here. If you can't get to the webinar, we will have a replay so you can take a look at that. All right, so here's another one. Could I be giving too many supplements? How do I know? I went out and I bought the 17 supplements for kidney disease. How do I know what's actually working? And the thing is you don't, right? So I take a lot of supplements because I've had some serious health concerns, but every once in a while I stop and think, okay, how do I actually feel? Am I feeling better than 3 months ago when I started this program? And if not, then to me, that's a signal that I need to take out everything that I'm not sure about and restart and make it earn its way back in to the protocol. So a good example of that, I've been taking some products that are detoxifying support, and they are fulvic acid, humic acid, amazing products. But for me, that was creating constipation. So I was creating more problems than I was solving. So I had to kind of pull everything back out. And part of what I did is go back to C60, which is an oil-based product, super easy to use, no issues with constipation. For Hayo, we have to do this all the time because she's very picky. Any supplement she gets goes straight in the mouth. And so we have to really be choosy because, poor little thing, she has to get stuff crammed down her throat. Nobody likes doing that, right? So what is she taking currently? She's taking some prescription medications for her pain. So she's taking some Galliprant, she's taking some gabapentin, she's taking some methocarbamol when she's really having spasms. And the problem for her is that when she has these neck spasms, it freaks her out like somebody is attacking her and makes her afraid of her food. So we have to be very, very selective about what we put in, what we don't put in. So what's actually going into her bowl other than her medications? She will take Megaspore, one of the probiotics we really like using because it's a sporulated probiotic and seems to actually reach the gut. She's taking an experimental probiotic called Negatrol by Humarian. And what it does is help to reduce lipopolysaccharide inflammation, which is the deal, right? That's what creates the inflammation and the pain. And I have to tell you, we have forgotten to give it to her. It's like, ooh. Wow, we really need to get that back in there pronto. She's taking an egg-based immunoglobulin called IgY, and so that's part of the Negatrol program. She's taking cordyceps mushrooms because she will take that with ease. She's taking C60, and I think that's it. She's also Megaspore, and then the IgY. So that's it right now because that's all she's going to tolerate. And we had to just follow her lead. No, I am not eating that anymore. So, okay. And if we put it in her food and try to make it an issue, she just won't eat. And she will literally starve herself to death. And I know that many of you have little guys like this that are super, super picky. So there is that. We'll get you some more information on what that looks like. We're going to start doing some videos tomorrow, which will be pretty cool. So can supplement overload be harmful? Yes, it can, because you're creating a situation where The joke is, I think there's more supplements in my dog's bowl than there is food. If you're in that place, you really need to step back and see. Well, the other thing we tend to see is you got scared about whatever the thing was. Let's say, again, in this instance, kidney disease, and you went out and you bought the 17 supplements. What we find is that most people are like, oh, this has really great testimonials and it has these ingredients that are supposed to be good. But often what they're doing is duplicating many ingredients. And so you have no idea how much you're actually giving because, again, many of the supplements are proprietary, meaning they'll tell you what's in them, but not the specific amounts. So it's a super frustrating situation, and that's where a coach can help you walk through, is this helpful? Is it not helpful? Wow, you're already doing this. Actually, this ingredient is in 3 of these supplements. Let's pick one, and the one that your dog actually likes. So a lot of things to consider, because we tend to go to supplements first rather than going to the basics. And really what we're doing is substituting supplements for prescription medications. So granted, there's not the side effects, although there can be. Typically, they are limited to vomiting, diarrhea, that kind of stuff, but there can be more significant ones, especially for dogs and cats that have heart disease. That's where you need to be very cautious in terms of using herbals, especially if you're already using a diuretic, for instance. That may actually drop your pet's blood pressure too low and make them feel pretty wonky. So a lot of things to consider. And that's why we like to say that you need a guide, especially for, the dog like Rosie, who was my inspiration for starting the coaching program, who had SARS, kidney failure, IBS, arthritis, and cystic skin disease, right on. And there you go. So just be cautious. We go to websites, we look at the testimonials, and they all sound amazing. The majority of websites are filtering their testimonials for the ones that sound good. If you see a site that has the negative ones up there as well, plus the response from the site, that gives you more indication that they're being as transparent as possible. And then also with supplements, and I am guilty as charged, but we will be providing you certificate of analysis, or a COA, for our products, so you can see not only what's in the product in terms of ingredients, but also potential toxins and their levels. So that's another thing to consider. The more supplements we give, the more potential for introducing toxins into our pets that we didn't intend to have happen. So let's see, what else are we seeing? And if you've got questions, y'all just drop them in there. Now, I mentioned spore-based probiotics. There's a couple of ways to make sure that the probiotics actually survive and get past the stomach acid and get into the GI tract. Spore-based products is one way to do it. And then the second is to consider fermented type probiotics, which is part of what the Humarian folks are doing. So I'll have more information on that for you coming soon. But the reason that's important is with probiotics, we think, oh, we're going to replace the microbiome with these probiotic organisms. Well, no, we're not really doing that. We're choosing somewhere between 4 and 17 species to introduce into an environment of thousands and thousands and thousands of species of both bacteria, phages, viruses, fungi, that kind of stuff. So we're going to make a big shift with that. We do see help, no two ways about it, but that's why I like the Megaspore and Phytospore, because the goal is not to shift the microbiome by introducing species, but to create a really healthy scaffolding for the probiotic organisms to thrive on. And in this way, we can start to see some real benefits, because what we've done is help support the terrain instead of trying to change it, right? And if we get the terrain supported well, and you'll hear Dr. Odette Suter and others speak about this with food, with exercise, by removing as many toxins from the diet as possible, then we can start to really see some big shifts in how this animal is feeling. So super critical concepts to understand. Probiotics are amazing. They're incredibly helpful, but they are not the end all be all to supporting the microbiome. And let's see, what else, y'all? Are you having fun? It's kind of rapid fire. I think I got enough coffee this morning. One of really simple ways to improve your pet's hydration, especially if they're not drinking enough water. And this is a problem. This is actually what people think is a problem when they switch to a more whole foods diet. But what's happening is they're actually getting a tremendous amount of water through the food itself. So if we think about the old adage of, oh, you need to drink 8 glasses of water a day, well, that actually means what's in your food and non-caffeinated, non-sugared beverages. And so if you're eating a lot of salads, a lot of fresh foods, steamed vegetables, that sort of stuff, you're probably getting at least a third of that to perhaps half of that in your food. But we still drink the 8 glasses of water, right? So for pets, when we start feeding fresh food, it freaks people out because all of a sudden they're not filling up the water bowl anymore. And so they're pouring water in the food to help dilute it out, which is a great strategy for your pets with kidney disease, by the way. But the truth is they're actually getting enough water in the food already. So where I would get concerned is if your dog is eating dry food and they're not drinking water. That's a worry. And so what could that mean if that's a sudden change? It could mean that there's a boatload of chlorine in your water and you need to use a water purifier. It could mean that the taste of the water has changed. It could mean there's more sediment. It could mean you just really need to scrub the water bowl out, right? So there's a lot of things to think through. One of the best ways to encourage pets to drink water that actually need it, like if they've got kidney disease, aside from fresh food, is to use things to flavor the water. So things like chicken stock, beef stock. I'm not a huge proponent of like a bone broth because in conventional animals, unfortunately, they store a lot of heavy metals in their bones. And so when you do bone broth and you cook this stuff for 4 to 12 hours, you're leaching out minerals, agreed, but you're also leaching out heavy metals. So again, I think a stock is a better way to go. Nice flavor. You can add some celery or something, but really just the stock itself is plenty. And then one of the other things you could consider is something like clam juice, which I think is more and more difficult to find, water from sardines, diluting those out, coconut water, all sorts of things. So there's great options there. So that's what I've got. We're kind of running down to the time I've got with you. If you didn't do it yet, comment hashtag C60 Dr. Ruth giveaway, and you will be entered to win a bottle of C60. So let me show you again what that is. I did this to start with. So let me jump over to that window. And if you don't know this supplement, it's something I encourage you to really take a look at. So this is a carbon molecule that is in a circular or ball-shaped shape. So Buckminster Fuller predicted this molecule, and then somebody finally found it. Now, the cool thing, this is made with avocado oil, so it's very light on the taste, very easy to get pets to accept it. And the thing is that's really cool is for like a 10-pound dog, or an average size cat, about 5 drops a day is sufficient. Now, why do you want to use this? Because it's a great antioxidant. It helps to support immune system function. It sucks up the free radicals. It sucks up all sorts of stuff that we don't want in our pet's body. It is a really great detoxification agent as well, and then help support energy, higher energy levels, enhance digestion, better absorption, and overall health and wellness. So that's a really awesome supplement to consider adding in. It is not cheap, but that bottle will last. If you've got a 10-pound dog, that bottle will last for dang near a year. So it is a little bit of an investment up front, but it really is quite an amazing value for the money. So I'm not sure who has commented, who has not commented in here. We'll give it a couple of more minutes. I'll ask another question. And Jen, right on. If you really have a sick pet and you have the guidance of either a veterinarian or a holistic pet health coach, I think Chinese herbal formulas are truly amazing. Cool. So I'll do one more question. So one of the ones that is a really common issue is, especially with the winter weather, is how can I support my senior pet's mobility and joint health naturally? So again, these are super, super common issues. A lot of it really is the food. So this is where doing something like the Glacier Peaks Pet Wellness Scan test can be super helpful to determine if your pet has food sensitivities. And the reason that's important is that if there is gut inflammation, leaky gut syndrome, then all these inflammatory molecules go somewhere in the body and create problems. So we talked about kidney disease earlier. They can go to the joints, the bone, any type of synovial joint. They can go to the skin, they can go to the ears, all these things. So if you start with the food, use that test to determine, okay, my dog is sensitive to beef and chicken, and then create some recipes that don't contain those, then you are definitely going to help support your dog's health that way. That is step number one, right? So we can give the pills, but you can't outpill a bad diet. If your dog is eating something that is irritating the GI tract, that's going to exacerbate and always make worse the physical problem that they're experiencing. So step number one. Now, what are some other things? Interestingly, C60 will help support by removing free radicals and things that create further inflammation, omega-3 fatty acids, and also things like joint supplements. So we recently reformulated Arthropause, and we've been seeing amazing results. So Michael Daly, one of our coaches and mentors, said 2 of his clients had it. They'd been dealing with arthritis issues for years. Literally within 30 days of starting the new formula, their energy level went up. They're moving more freely, feeling super awesome. And so what's in that product? Some of the things you already know. It's glucosamine, chondroitin, and some things you may not be so familiar with. And one is cetyl myristalate, UC2, which I think there's a lot of evidence about that. And then green lip mussel and acetylcysteine. And there is also hyaluronic acid, which I think that is just been the bomb in terms of overall joint support. So if you don't know this product, go check it out. We're starting to see some really super amazing results there too. All right, so we're down to 10:30, and I'm not sure if we have chosen a winner yet. Hope this has been fun. So let's see, Audrey entered right on. Paola entered, Kay entered, Terry entered, and right on, Paola, you did it. All right, cool. So I don't know if team chose somebody or not, but if not, I'm going to, at random, pick Terry. So congratulations, Terry. Reach out to my team at this email address, and they will get you hooked up and get you a bottle sent out. So hope this is fun. You're going to be hearing more about C60 in the not too distant future. I am delighted that the founder of the company, Jess McNaughton, is going to come on, and we'll do a lot more talking about how this all goes. So Until next time, have a fantastic day. Keep the questions coming. If you don't know about our circle group, go over to our page, the /crockpet diet on drruthroberts.com or Instagram at Ruth Roberts, I think that's it, and check the bio link there. Sign up for the Circle group. It's completely free. We also have a 55,000 person, 56,000 person Facebook group. However, in Circle, it's private, and so we can discuss things there that we can't really discuss on Facebook. All right, that's all, y'all. Have a great day.